Here we are. Little John Band. Well, thank you for coming out. I got to tell you, with that many sponsors, I was expecting a lot bigger stage for RTR. I'm a pacer and a walker. I'm going to fall off this thing. I'm guaranteeing it. But, yeah, thanks for coming.
That's why we gave you the catwalk, at least.
Thank you. Yeah, I should have put one right up here. That would have been great. Thanks for coming out, guys. Everyone in this room is a GOAT. I mean, we're all top of the top. And to have you all spend this morning with me, I've never gone to one of these. I'm always busy working. I just literally learned how to turn off my phone for the first time walking out here. I found the button to turn it off, and it's off for the first time in probably a year. It's turned off to talk to you guys.
I've never heard RTR's voicemail, ever.
Probably want to clear one thing up. I didn't call Aaron to get in on here. This whole thing happened, and I'll share a little story with you. I was at the Hard Rock Casino, and when I go to the Hard Rock, I don't go for 1 hour in and out. It's a Doc Holliday event. And the morning after, I'm pulling in, daylight of course, and I'm catching up on some emails and some stuff I had to do from the night before. And the phone rings and it's Aaron. And I actually had, of course, Tool blaring, and I was working, and he got me in a great mood. And he asked me, like he does every single time, he picked his spot perfectly, and I committed. And then I tried to weasel out of it, and the wife was already mad at me because I came home so late, and she goes, "You're doing it." So I've never spoken in front of more than 5 people at a time. So I'll do my best, guys. That's all I can tell you. I'll do my best. I'll try to give you as much as I can in an hour of 25 years of me doing this. That's all I can say. I'll do all I can. You guys all came here and you paid $10 to help the veterans and to help, Bill's Mafia. I mean, that's I grew up there. I mean, I've been disappointed many, many times from those guys, but in true loyal fashion, I just bleed their colors, and thank you guys for coming out. It really does. It touches me here.
Let's give him one more round of applause for coming all the way out. First time on stage.
Am I supposed to carry this thing on myself?
I was like, hey, I'm ready to ask a question, but I'll step out of the way.
I say that speech. I don't got cards.
All right, hey.
I need a teleprompter like Biden.
All right, I'll just sit and I'll walk around and whatnot. So just so everyone knows, I'll walk around the room and I'll mostly be trying to stay out of Ron's way, but you're just going to hear my voice come from wherever. Ron, don't look for where I am. Just listen to wherever you hear and answer.
There's too many pretty girls here to look at you, man.
Exactly, perfect. All right, so the number one question everyone wants to ask is, they want to ask how you do it, but I'll ask a more specific question that I love your answer to. Tell me about what your average day looks like. What does a day look like in the life of RTR? What's the daily routine? Run me through a day, or run me through a week if a day doesn't make sense.
Well, to be perfectly frank, I don't have a routine. I think that people that actually have routines are very selfish to themselves, and they don't really give all they can to the business. If you have to turn off your phone to work out, and then you have this time, you get to do this and that. Now, by all means, if you're a single parent or if you got to pick up a kid, that's totally cool. But I don't have that snag in my personal life because I have a super wife at home that handles all the day-to-day. And that's something that a lot of people are lacking, and probably one of the advantages RTR has is having a great partner in crime in life to allow you to do what you do best, which is service your clients. But if you are literally having a regimented time every single day, how do you help that one person that has an emergency? How do you answer your phone when somebody's calling to ask you, hey, your lockbox is broken, man, how do I get in? And that waits 2 hours. That's not, in my opinion, adapting and just moving with the flow of things. Every day's different, man. Some days I get home at 4:30 in the morning. Some days I'm starting work at 2 in the morning. I'm always adapting to whatever has come to me. And maybe it's because I don't have to hunt for business. Business hunts me. So I just always reacting because I have so many opportunities that come to me. It's different than most realtors that are out there. The business calls me. So I'm always ready to work.
Let's talk about why, if that's cool with you.
Well, that's the whole reason we're here, right?
Let's talk about tell me when you started. How did you start? When did you start? What did you sell?
Yeah, gosh, I started in 1998 when I first came down here. I was actually gonna be a PR director for the Orlando Jackals. It was a roller hockey league that was supposed to fill up the stadium's seats during the off season. Well, '98, I had a little bit of gold in the pager. I didn't have no cell phones. AOL was dial up, and I came down here in an '87 Buick and from Buffalo, gave everyone the finger up there, of course, and I left. I came down here and I thought I had a job that was gonna pay me, like 22 grand a year. I thought I was hitting it big. And I go to show up for work and the league folded, didn't even know. Had nowhere to go, I had no job, I was almost out of money, so I just defaulted back to what I know. And that was waiting tables. I grew up where you had to work, and I've been working in restaurants since I was 12 years old, and it's what I know. I always waited tables or bartended, actually worked in the back a little bit, sometimes, not to bore you guys, but I always made more tips than even the prettiest girl on the floor because my customers at that time would always have full drinks, their appetizers were always being upsold, and they always left with a smile. And I always got 25, 30% tips. So I just went back to that. And then I decided, once my father passed, he left me a small penance of a life insurance policy that he strived to always keep up, even when he was dying of cancer. God bless that guy. Thank you, Big Al. He left me that money, and I went and go buy a house. And I went with one realtor, and I'm not going to name any names. I don't think these people are even in the business anymore, but thank you for being such shitty realtors because, oh my God, I cannot believe where I would be if I didn't think that I could do this job. These guys were pathetic, man. They couldn't add, they had no personality, and they were still driving a nice car, had nice shoes, and a nice watch. I went through 2 of those, and I said to my fiance at the time, I said, I can't do this. I'm just going to go try to find a place on my own. And I started just going around and bird dogging, and I kind of liked it. It was kind of cool. I was, going to new home places and just being real fast, and I got really obsessed with it. And I bought my first house in Hunters Creek in Chalfont, of all places. And we bought it. I went through the whole building process, and I told my wife, she was an RN at Osceola Regional Medical Center, and I said, hey, I think I'm going to, and thank you for all the nurses, by the way. You guys are badass. I said, I think I'm going to try this. And she said, go for it. So she supported me during that time. And typical RTR fashion, I'm going to sell $2 million houses. I had a full-size Eddie Bauer Bronco. I smoked 2 packs of Marlboro Reds. I swore like a sailor. I talked way faster than I do now. And I didn't even know what a termite inspection was. And I started with Oxford Realty in Winter Park. Great place, but very pinkies up. I mean, they were correcting me on every sentence I said, and anything at all. I walked into a real estate office in my home area of Hunters Creek. It was ERA Homestead Realty, and the guy that was the broker was from Niagara Falls, and we hit it off. His name was Jerry Zip, and he's kind of a goat, to be honest with you. He taught me a lot, and he was also a hardcore gambler. We used to literally coin flip for the difference on hundreds of dollars of commissions. It was gold. I missed the guy. Started selling blue collar. It took me 9 months to sell my first house, guys. I almost quit. I sat open house every single day. I finally found a divorce guy that didn't know anything from anything, and his name was Will. He's still a client of mine. He's on his 3rd wife now. Thank you, Will. You keep me in business. But, he has some anger issues, but I can... RTR takes all likes, man. You're all welcome to the RTR army. I sold an $85,000 half a duplex in Ginger Mill for 85 grand. Jerry Zick took half the money, and there was a difference of like $100, like $102, and he said, let's flip for it. I won the flip, and it started the tradition of that happening. Here's the funny story. I'm getting really on a
I'll
tangent here.
Interrupt you if it's not.
Yeah, please do.
I'll pull the leash
I
back.
can tell stories all day, guys. Let's focus on something else.
If you guys look bored, I'm going to switch it. But as long as you guys look intrigued, I'm going to just keep letting them roll.
Ask me another question.
All right. Tell me about what it took. Like, what got the ball rolling as a realtor? When did you really start selling? And what was the
I started selling about year 2. I started getting a couple of people under my belt. And really, it comes down to the basis. Let's just get to brass tacks. I mean, the basis of my success is based on 5-star customer service, and then every single person I work with, I literally want to become their herpy. I want to be with them for life. I want to literally attach myself to them, and they can't get rid of me. And no matter what they think about real estate, I'm the guy they think about. And my job is that when they're at a function or some kind of family outing, and somebody's always going to bring up real estate, that they're like tackling that person and knocking their cup out of their hands and giving them my card or telling them to look at my website. And that's really the secret. And there's no get rich quick to this. I have never bought a lead. I don't take referrals. I only give referrals. And I just really think that's the best way that you can actually build your business if you are serious about doing this for a career and for a life. I mean, you can go out there and buy Zillow leads and go hash through them all and get a couple quick deals, and maybe they could become customers for life. But I walk into all my appointments and everybody already knows who I am, and I'm just talking about strategy and their personal needs and wants. I'm not trying to prove that I can do it for them. They already know I can do it for them. And it's a big difference and probably an unfair advantage I have over most of my competition. And you know what? Everyone doesn't get a trophy. I don't care if I'm unfair advantage. I work very hard to get that. And some of you in here will literally do this, and you will 10, 15 years from now be at the level where they're just calling you. But it's going to take one person answering that phone at 12:30 at night. And like, I can't believe you answered your phone, Ron. Why wouldn't I answer the phone? This is your biggest decision of your life. Gosh, when my kids were growing up, I'd be playing catch with them in the backyard. The phone rang, the ball hit my chest, man. I'm answering the phone. My kids have been RTR Army from the get-go. They were born and raised in this. They know, there's no temper tantrums in the car when RTR is on the phone. There's none. Dad's on the phone, you be quiet. Sometimes I pretend I was on the phone even though I wasn't on the phone just to make them be quiet. They never caught on, thank God. And I'm not the kind of person that puts a speaker on in my car. I always talk on the phone.
Can I ask you something about the RTA? Like, when you sit with someone, because I've sat with you a lot of times, your level of assertiveness, confidence, and whatnot, let's talk about a listing appointment. Like, when you tell them that you're really going to, like, you said to me the other day, you're willing to fight in the street for them. Like, tell me about how loyal you are at going to bat for every single customer, doing what's best for them because you want them to be in the RTR Army, not just close the deal.
Well, it's just a passion, really. You have to really love what you do. If this is just a job and you just want to do this to get on the golf course or as a supplementary income, you're probably not in this room. These are the best of the best. That's why I agreed to talk to you guys. It's sacrifice, it's passion. You have to love what you do. If you hate it, it's just going to be a long day. When I sit down and talk to someone when they're selling their house, it's not about if I'm going to do it. I'm literally sit down and tell them that I'm interviewing them. They're not interviewing me. I'm deciding if I want to take this listing on. I've only got 24 hours in the day, and I don't have people I can rely on to do something. I mean, I literally do every part of every transaction for every deal, and every day is everything you can think of. From all the deals I do, there's something going on, and I can't be wasting my time. That's probably the biggest success of my situation is I'm able to pick and choose. So my close ratio is literally 100%.
How do you pick and choose? Like, if I'm an agent in this room and I hear that and I go, that's a really good idea, where do I start? How do I know how to pick and choose, who to turn away, who to fire? Well,
that comes down to everybody individually because it's just like picking your lifetime mate. I mean, you're going to know if they're yours or not. And sometimes, you do make a bad decision, but you have to fire more than you hire. That's really the bottom line. If you don't fire more than you hire, you're going to be out there working with someone that's not going to pay your bills. We do not get paid by the hour. We do not get paid for second place. We get paid to close the freaking deal.
And by the way, if you guys see the types of things he posts on social media, he says whatever he's thinking. He doesn't sugarcoat it. He doesn't hide from it. He says whatever he wants. And because of it, people that want to work with RTR, they already know what they're getting. Is that fair?
If they don't, they know when they meet me. And that's really the bottom line. If they have a Chevy Volt in their driveway, they're probably not going to be part of the RTR Army at the end of the day. But that's okay. There's a realtor for them. I know there is because there's more realtors than houses. So I've gotten to the point in my career where I don't have to work if I don't want to work. I work because that's what I love doing. I'll joke with my wife and say, I think I have a half a day off, and she'll just roll her eyes, and she won't even make a plan because she knows within 15 minutes somebody's calling me to ask me a real estate question. And when I talk to these people on the phone, I'm already qualifying them. When they're a buyer, you have to jump through a lot of hoops to be.
What types of questions are you asking them? Can you give us some of that?
Well, I ask them if they're ready to make an offer that day. There's no window shopping. I'm not going to give you guys all my secrets, but You know, it really comes down to you don't want to have people in this market as a buyer's agent. You do not want to have someone that's not ready to buy. You can send them listings. You can talk to them on the phone after hours, but when it's go time, you're working with people that are A paper, ready to run. I mean, again, there's only 24 hours in a day, and most of you guys, I'm guessing, sleep 6 to 8 hours.
What do you say to someone who's not ready to buy, Ron? Like, how do you turn them away?
Well, I don't turn them away if they're cool people. I keep them in mind. I got some people that I've been talking to for 2 years, but they're not going to eat my time. I'm not going to show them houses they can't buy.
Is there something you say if someone's trying to?
It all depends on the person. Really, I hate to be vague on that, but
No, okay.
everything that comes with experience. I can go into any situation, and with 25 years of doing this and thousands of homes sold, I'm going to know what I can say and what I can't to hit a trigger button with these people. And when you read people, you're going to know what's going to make them upset or not. And sometimes I'm just bored and I want to upset them and see what they do. And it doesn't matter. It's having fun. You got to have fun every day. If you don't, the day I don't have fun, somebody else is going to take all my listings and be done with it because I don't need to do this. I'll open a bar and I'll sit behind it and I'll tell jokes and I'll have nonstop Buffalo Bills defeats on the TV and cry.
Tell me what you love about your competition. You always say I love my competition.
Oh, I always love my competition because nobody will ever do as much as I do. No matter, everyone says they work hard and everyone says that they're dedicated. When you look in the mirror in the morning, you know you're really not. You know you're not. You're the only one that's not. You're the only one that knows. I know because I know. I see. I watch. I know what I do. And I know that there's times that you guys make things go to voicemail. I know there's times that you say you're in an appointment, but you're really at the movies or, you know. It's those extra phone calls that you answer are the ones that actually get you to the next level. And it's really, I can't stress that enough. Being available is a choice. You don't have to be available. That's the beautiful thing about our business. You can do whatever you want. I mean, that's the greatest business in the world. I mean, you can literally do this part-time and make more than a school teacher does or a firefighter or even a person that gets shot in Iraq. You get more than those heroes filling out 12 pages of paper, the blanks in them, and most of you don't even make a phone call to tell them that the offer's been sent. You just hope that they call you back. So I mean, this is a great place, and we're in probably the greatest market. Thanks to our governor, God bless that man, that we're just crushing it here. Anyway, what's the next question?
Tell me about what the average agent in this room is probably not doing that wants to be where you're at. Like, I know there's a bunch of things they're not doing, but give me like 2 or 3 of the things they're probably not doing that they should be.
They're probably not talking to the people here's a great one that no one ever does, and it's mind-boggling to me because it costs you nothing. It's $0, and sometimes you don't call because you didn't give them 5-star service, and that's why you're not building the RTR army. But I call. Gosh, anytime I'm somewhere and the phone is dead for a second, I got to have something going on. So I'll just do Russian roulette on my phone, and I'll pick a letter and spin it. Wherever it lands, I'm calling that person. And I'm going, hey, what's going on? And asking them what they're doing and just trying to connect with them and ask them what they've been up to. And I can't tell you how much business I get just being put back on top of mind to someone. And lately, it's been dial for dollars, not even Russian roulette. It's been dial for dollars. Everyone, I look at my database, and I'll look at the people that bought a house 5 or 7 years ago. They haven't called me yet. Well, first, I'll make sure they didn't cheat on me. That's number one. I'll check the MLS, make sure they didn't sell. And then I'll call them and go, man, we can cash out. We can reset. Interest rates are low for very few more months. I mean, this inflation is going to get insane. So let's capitalize. Yeah, you're going to pay more, but you're in the same soup. You're going to sell for more. You're going to buy for more. I'm sure you got a honeydew list on your house that you don't want to do. So why don't you just give it to someone else? Sell out, cash out, and buy something that would be a fresh start. There's nothing better than a new chapter, than buying a new house. And obviously, as your realtor, I want you to buy a new house. So, I just try to keep it light and keep it happy. And I can't tell you how many people call back. Maybe not the next day, might even be the next week, but within a month, they're calling me, and I got a sign in their front yard, and we're doing a double banger. We're listing and we're buying. I mean, that's just cost me nothing.
What else are agents not doing? Give me a couple more.
Well, they're not answering their phones. I mean, I don't understand it. If you take a listing and you have control of the listing, you are the quarterback of that team, and if you put the house on the market on a Friday at 2 o'clock and then bitch at me because I'm hammering you because you underpriced it, and my guy, obviously it's on my radar then, and you don't want to answer your goddamn phone on a Sunday because you want to take the day off, list the fucking home on a Tuesday. You control it. I don't understand this. There's a basic theory that I believe it's a way of life, and it's called cause and effect. And no matter what you do, you're gonna get more from it. If you put the house on the market on a Friday, you're gonna have a crazy weekend. RTR puts his houses on the market on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, just saying.
Hey, Ron, I got a question from the audience. Do you care about what other agents and other brokers think about you?
I'll tell you, anyone that wants any advice or ever wants to have a question answered, my phone's always on. And you know what? I want more haters than likers. I always do. That means I'm doing it right. And the people that hate me, I'm probably the most misunderstood human being in this room. And that's why my wife said to do this, because everyone thinks I'm an asshole, and that's fine. I am an asshole. I'm probably the biggest asshole out there. But I really do it because I only have 24 hours in a day, and I'm just being direct. There's no reason to sugarcoat things. The job is to get the job done and then go on to the next one. My kids, my wife, me, we deserve to close the deal. And if you can't do it, I'm gonna go to the next realtor that can.
Tell us why you're so passionate about homeownership.
Oh, Big Al, man. My dad, he single parent, raised me and my sister, and worked 3 jobs, barely saw him. We moved all the time, rent. And he died never owning a home. And he only kept that life insurance policy at an astronomical fee. Probably why he couldn't buy a home was that life insurance policy. And I made sure that every penny went to buy my first home. And I believe that, there's so many people out there that'll never own a home. So the people that do own a home is a small portion. And they're the lucky people, man. That's the American freaking dream, man. Having ownership in a home is the American dream. And that's what I sell to every single person out there. You can't do this without passion. And when you have a person that has the home and they called me to represent their biggest asset, man, that's fucking huge. And if you think that you're not worthy of it, probably not the word thing to say, but I always want to give everything to that person. And I've done this every single time I meet somebody, and it translates. It's not bullshit. This is true life. I literally want to go and get that person every dollar, but not sometimes not every dollar. Sometimes it's get that person 30 days afterwards, lease post occupancy for free. Sometimes that's priceless.
Hey, tell me about your loyalty to each client, like how you feel about each and every person.
Oh, they're all RTR Army, man. If you're RTR Army, you're RTR Army for life.
And what's the RTR Army?
RTR Army is any single person that I decided to, devote time and energy to. And
that's your past client list, basically.
I try to make a positive impact on every person that I work with. And it's not just listing the house. It's advice. I get calls at 10, 11, 12. I've gotten calls at 3 o'clock in the morning. Those are totally different phone calls, but they're usually a lot more funny. But, it's not just selling the house. You're advising people on a lifestyle. You're advising people on the next chapter of their life. You're sometimes weighing 2 or 3 important choices of where to go. And I am probably the master at helping these people move to where they need to go and help them, because they confide with me everything they have. So I'm able to really advise them. And I know stuff about people. I have so many skeletons. This whole entire Church Street would be a graveyard for the amount of things that I know about people in this town.
It's getting close already.
Yes. But it's really, I think a lot of realtors forget that this is people's lives. And like yesterday, I had a notary that didn't send the documents over. I lit her up, man. This is somebody's life. Thank God they were RTR Army and they were able to stay in the house for a month later. But can you imagine having a simultaneous close and the notary never sent the documents in? That's insane. It's your only job. That's your only job. Scan some documents in and then go on to the next one. And they couldn't even do that. So you're only as strong as your weakest link in the deal. And that's like the golf tee of golf. The mobile notary is the cheapest part of the game, and they let us down.
Tell me about how you manage 2.5 deals a week. The average person in here has no idea how you even juggle all the things. Tell them about whether or not and how much you sleep. Tell them about how do you fit it all? How do you fit 2.5 closings in a week?
I don't expect anyone to do what I do. I actually don't wish it on anybody. It's consumed my life. It really has. It's all I do, all day. All day is this. All day, all night is this. Having this time right here with you guys is the first time my phone has been off My phone is on. Kathy will attest. We're at our freaking anniversary dinner, and I'm answering text. She's just the most patient person in the world with that stuff. I love doing it. I love doing it. It's a drug. If I don't negotiate something once a day, I feel like I was a failure. Like I didn't do anything. I'm not the richest person, and I won't ever be rich, but I'll never be broke because I work every day to make sure I'm not broke. And I just fear being poor. I fear not being able to pay the electric bill. And that fear and that hunger is what gets me where I go every day. And when I lose that and I become I'm kind of big, but when I lose that hunger is probably when RTR will hang it up. But I'm hungry as a motherfucker still, so you guys better keep working.
Honestly, you keep answering the questions right before I ask, because I was going to ask what drives and fuels you. But let's talk about like some of the tools and systems you use to juggle it all. What are some of the programs? What do you actually use? Are there any apps? Are there any tools? Are there any programs? Are there any systems that people could be doing that have helped you scale? Since
Aaron,
being on
my suffix on my email address is @msn.com.
There you go. How did RTR become your moniker? Where'd you get Ron the Realtor from?
Last name Ziolkowski. Nobody can spell it. Nobody can say it. And everyone used to always say, that Ron the Realtor guy. So I just morphed into Ron the Realtor. And then a person that worked on my team when I had a team before teams were cool, and I realized that I didn't like teams and working and babysitting people. I had a guy that had another talent, which was kind of cool. His name was Bob Moody. And he made a logo for me, and that logo is the one that I've been using from that day forward, and it says RTR on it. And my friends just started calling me RTR, and it kind of stuck. And since then, now that's kind of what I'm known as, is RTR.
I got to tee you up with one. Tell me about Tool. Why did we come out to Tool? Why did everyone here have to get the lyrics? Why do they have to see it?
Well, I got a little bit of a gripe with that. You really cut that off way before the climax of that movie or that song.
Actually, I'll take
I was pretty disappointed about that, because it was only one of two things I asked to do. But I know that
we'll put it back on.
I know you had 78 sponsors to get through, and we only had a little bit of time. The Tool's awesome, man. I mean, Tool's the greatest. It's my favorite band. But I came up to that song to dedicate to Kathy, because I printed out the lyrics, and the first 6 lines are pretty much it, man. So
read them, is what he's saying. Let's talk about like when you weren't at the level you were at. Let's say I'm newer to real estate, I'm building my business. Where did you start? Let's talk about the open houses, the people you met, how you meet people in the community. Talk about like how do you build the RTR army from scratch?
Well, here's a couple of secrets, and this is why you're here. You have to make a conscious effort that this is what you want to do, and this is where you're going to be, and you guys see yourself 10 years from now what your goal is, and then from there you have to pick a farm area. These people that have listings in Oviedo and listings in Kissimmee and listings in Groveland, I don't understand that. I really don't. I picked the area that I wanted to pick. It was Winter Garden back before Winter Garden was Winter Gold. No one even knew about it. There was a dead man turn. There was no restaurants. There was no 429. I moved out to Stony Brook West, and I figured that's where I'm going to stake my claim. I saw where the freeways were going. I planned everything. This shit ain't on accident, guys. I've literally loved doing this, and I don't know if anything else I would ever do other than own that bar is do real estate. So I wanted to be really good at it. So if you don't know me, if the car has more than 10 miles per gallon, it's not in my fleet. I like cars that are thirsty. So I don't want to be driving 45 minutes to an appointment. I also felt that was a complete waste of time. So I wanted to dominate like a 2 or 3 mile radius. And I think that's really a key. If you want to really take it to the next level, you need to become the household name in an area. And in that area, you should be seen. You should be living, working, playing. Basically, sell where you freaking live, man. It's not complicated. If you live there, it's an endorsement. Just don't be selling in 34787, because you're just going to lose every listing appointment. It's not fair to you guys. There's no trophy for second place on listings. When I'm out there getting gas, wherever I'm at, I dress for success. It could be 95 degrees and 100% humidity. This is what you see. When you're cool, you don't sweat.
By the way, I'm just going to plant the seed. We got a few more questions for Ron. However, sorry, I didn't mean to just jump in. But I've been getting this message. A few of you have texted me, yes, there is a bartender at the bar, and the bar is open. So anyone around the bar that wants to make their way to the bar, you can still buy drinks. Those of you that have to run when we're done, you can order food to go. You get 25% off of everything spent here for the entire day. So can we give a quick round of applause to Harry Buffalo for having us here this month and every month? We're not done, by the way. I just want to make sure I said this, because we're going to keep this thing going. A lot of us are going to stick around. I'm sure Ron is going to stick around at the bar with me. I hope he will at least. Right?
I give secrets for drinks.
Yeah, okay. So we'll have some fun. Those of you that want to have some fun, stick around. But 25% off to everyone that paid because of the admission today. So I just thought I'd plug that. And if anyone here needs to place an order or needs to grab a drink, just raise your hand or grab the bartender and she'll find you. Ron, keep going. Let's just talk about this quote, man. You were a people person until people ruined it. Talk about it.
It's true, and I use it all the time. And you know, in this business, you literally will see the best and worst out of every person behind the curtains. And that's where you fire and hire. You're only as good as the person you're representing. In Florida, the contracts are so goddamn weak. They're the weakest contracts in the world that they're only as good as the person signing them. And then you have to enforce whatever that person's character is. And I've built my name on a reputation. I win a lot of multiple offers that are actually lesser money-wise, but the realtors have taken my offer because they know that I'm gonna handle all the shit on my table and not bring it to theirs. And these are the things that I bring to the table that are priceless to my clients. And that what you should be striving for is building these relationships with other realtors and making sure that everyone out there knows that you're gonna get the deal done. You don't wanna ever be on the blacklist on a realtor. I have a long blacklist, and if you bring an offer to me, you're not, I feel bad for that client sometimes. What was the actual question? I got rambling again.
Let's talk about your blacklist. Okay, let's talk about the opposite. Let's talk about the agents that you've built good relationships with, and like if an agent's trying to build their reputation with top producers like you, what do they need to get known for, and how do they make themselves known as someone that's gonna get the deal done?
Well, a lot of my preferred guys and girls are in this room right now, and I thank you guys for taking the time to come here out of your busy days, because if you're in my inner circle of people that I like and I trust, it's through, I've been doing this for over 2 decades, and I compare it to being war in the trenches. I mean, it's a fight out there every day, and this isn't, drone fighting like millennials do. This is literal hand-to-hand combat. And when you're out there in the foxhole with people, when you're fighting with them, we're transaction brokers. We're there to close that transaction, and you can tell a real pro when shit starts going bad. So if you don't answer your phone, if I have to struggle to meet your, and if you tell me every other day I have to talk to somebody else on your team, that's not what I'm gonna do. I'm not your employee. You figure it out. I'm gonna send this shit to you and you figure it out. I'm done with that, just so you guys know. I'm done with sending it to your assistant and remembering who that is. That's not my assistant, that's your assistant. What's the next question?
I'm trying to decide if I should let her share her story.
I've never talked to this many people before. They said, if you clap, stop talking.
Well, here's what I'll say. I'll share the story from an anonymous source.
And I still would like that bottle of water I asked for when I first came on.
I've been trying to hand it to you this whole time.
So I get a used one?
Say again?
Can I pay extra for a new one?
Oh, I thought, where did the new one go? I'll find it for you. Give me a second.
Cool.
I thought that was it, but
guys, this is how they treat the talent.
It was sitting on your chair the whole time. But I got a question from the audience about how you deal with other agents. Like, I've heard many agents comment about how you've said things like, hey, control your buyer. Or, hey, are you going to get, who are you and are you going to get this deal done? Like, tell me about how serious you are about what they should be bringing to the table.
Keep your shit on your table. Don't bring it to mine. It's not my job to close your deal, but I have been known many a times to work both sides of the deal. If I have a new agent out there, I will definitely take my time and teach them some things. I have given secrets out to people during a deal many a times that I do, and it's brought light bulbs up on people, and the next time I see them in like a year from there, they have another $10 million in their hopper because they were listening.
Let me get a water.
I'm sure some of you in this room that I've told a couple of cool things to that you're still using today. The biggest issue.
Oh, thank you.
Next to you. Oh, beautiful.
They've been piling up over here.
Hold my mic for me for a minute.
Yeah, I got you.
Guys, I'm super thirsty.
We've got people have been dropping bottles. They've been dropping shots. I mean, everything's over here for you.
I got no boobies yet.
While we do that, if you guys have a question for him, jot it down on a sheet of paper. I'm going to be walking around the room. If you get it in my hands, I'll ask the questions in the next 10 minutes. If you don't, I'm not going to ask them.
Thank you for your patience. Now I can talk again. What's the next question?
Let's talk about if you're building your database right now. Like, well, first of all, what do you actually use? Do you have a database? Do you have a CRM?
Yeah, I do. That's probably the only thing I got. And I started it back when it was floppy disk. You got 10 of them, and you loaded them into your computer. It was called Top Producer. And I've always feared change. I obviously really feared change after, what was it, 2008? I really started fearing that word. But I don't like change, so I keep on using Top Producer. And that's the gold, man. That's where I keep all the RTR Army. Any person that you talk to, you put it in there, you put some notes in there. It's very simple. But your database is your business. Everyone here knows that. They're not telling you anything you don't know. The question is, what the hell do you do with it? I mean, do you guys just have names in there and you send out freaking Happy Mother's Day card? That's bullshit. That's ain't gonna do nothing. And you're just going to spam. That's waste.
What do you keep in yours, and what types of things do you send to them?
Well, every quarter, I take time out of my busy day. Actually, it's usually probably 4 o'clock in the morning that I do this. And every quarter for 2 decades now, I break down the market that I want to dominate. I want to be known as the expert. You're never going to be the expert if you're not the expert. You got to be the expert. You can always say you're the expert, but people see right through shit all the time. You got to know it. You got to know what the average sale price is, dollar per foot, how many times things have sold in an area. You need to know these things, and you're going to do it for yourself. I actually put it out there on my website. All you guys can go look at it. I don't have no registrations, nothing. I'm an open book, guys. I try to share as much knowledge as I can. You can go on my website right now and go on the blog section, and all my quarters are on there. And it talks about all the things you would want to know if you were buying a house or selling a house in Winter Garden or in Windermere, where I call home. I think they're invaluable assets. They're broken down to even, anybody can copy and paste bullshit. I actually break it down. I'm pretty good at math. Better than the first 2 realtors I had that I hired. And I break it down from not only the market, but I take it down even a deeper level, because most of my clients now are at a point where they're at a higher price point. I bought them a condo or a townhouse back when I was young, and that's who I gravitated to, or people that age. But now at my price point, I'm in people that are selling higher homes, because they've already bought or sold 2 or 3 homes with me. They want to know what the hell the single family market is. Why would I want to weigh down a townhome and right down the street with my single family homes? So I break down my information to single family home and a full market. So you have 2 different versions on every single quarter, and this is a value that nobody else does. I'm sure every single buddy here is going to do this starting tomorrow, but and I hope you do.
Don't worry, at least 80% of them won't do anything with it.
And that's why I came up here. I said none of you guys are going to do any of this, so it's totally cool. You're just here to have a couple beers, 25% off, right?
Amen. And help the veterans, right?
Yes, veterans. I love them. God bless all of you.
How could a buyer's agent get your attention in a multiple offer situation?
Well, number one, they can not just email me something and there's hope that I can respond to them. They can actually make a phone call and try to put a face to the element. They could fill all the blanks in. That's always positive. They could have everything there, and they could probably put their buyer's fucking name in the HOA disclosure, because I am tired of doing that for buyer's agents every single offer. That right there is step 1. Step 2 is terms. In this market, if you're giving me a Swiss cheese offer, I'm going to see through it in a second, and I'm going to tell my seller this one's trash.
Love it. Let's talk about how you win without giving away too many of your secrets. Can you tell me a little bit about what agents need to know about how well they need to know their contracts? Where are they screwing up without telling them exactly and revealing your secrets? What do they need to know that they don't know that's screwing up the multiple offer situations, screwing up when they write contracts, things like that?
If you can't fill out the blanks of the contract, you don't belong in this business, number 1. Number 2, if you haven't read the 12-page contract, you don't belong in this business. But I think everyone here knows all of this already that's here. That's what's good about it. But this is for the virtual stalkers that are online that couldn't come here because they were afraid of COVID. We're all here. I think there's the first maskless. I requested there was no mask. No mas. The biggest thing you can do is hopefully be at the point in your career where you have relationships with the other person. In my experience, 10% of the people in a marketplace sell 90% of their homes. And they're the ones that are always getting the listings. Why would you not want to be friends with them? They're both doing the same thing you're doing. You want to get involved with them. The networking is priceless when it comes to getting to the level that I'm at. If it wasn't for having a 100% close ratio and having to go and farm and do other prospecting, it would take me away from what I'm doing. I would nowhere near hit the level that I hit every single year, year after year. It's the RTR Army. It really is. That, and there's two other things that I can accredit to my huge spike in success. One is the smartphone. I'm able to do so much more work just driving to the next appointment than I ever was able to do in 1998. And God bless it. I mean, this is the greatest thing in the world. Electronic signatures. Oh my God. I remember having to fax these sons of bitches, and then there'd be somebody they didn't let the liquid paper dry, so everyone gets a big line through it, for those that have been around long enough to know. And then, you know, Aunt Edna can't figure out the fax. Or then you'd have to go drive to Aunt Edna and get it signed wet signature. I could never do the deals I do if I V-sign.
Let me ask you a question. What would RTR today tell RTR 20 years ago? Or what advice would you give RTR 20 years ago?
Do not bet on the Buffalo Bills.
What else?
You know, honestly, I would never change a thing. I am literally comfortably numb with how I've built this. And I built all of this through nothing but trial and error. I never got poisoned by, you know, going to seminars. I don't come to my seminar. I've never gone to a seminar. I've never gone to a class. I've never been to a Masterclass. I don't know if I'm doing it right or not doing it right. I hope I'm exceeding what you guys were expecting. But
everybody learned something so far? If you did, make some noise.
I just always want to. It's really simple. If you are passionate, if you are sincere, if you literally put the other person's needs before everyone else's, they see it, man, because nobody does it. This is a heartless society we live in. Everyone's cold. Everyone's just looking for the next dollar. I mean, everybody will pull out a camera and watch the guy get his ass kicked. I'm the kind of guy that'll jump in there and start beating that other guy's ass. I'm not letting somebody get their ass kicked in front of me. That's crazy. No one's burning the fucking flag in front of me. That's crazy. It's insanity to me. We're in a very weird time in life where all you have to do is give a shit, and you already stand ahead of everybody else out there.
Ron, say that one more time, because everyone should leave with that nugget. If they've tuned you out at all, which I can't imagine anyone has, say that one more time.
What did I say?
About giving a shit is a competitive advantage?
Yeah, it really comes down to passion. It really does. Giving a shit matters. It really does. And I'm living proof of it. I consider myself the embodiment of the American dream. Not that I'm trying to be egotistical or nothing. I just feel that I come from nothing. I was a nobody. I mean, if I can do this, all you guys can do it. I got a face for radio, guys. I got nothing going on here, but I still work hard every single day, and I will outwork every single one of you in this room. I dare you. I'll triple dog dare you that I'll outwork you.
It's actually why we turned the live stream camera off. But no, I'm kidding. Tell me about how you feel about iBuyers, disruptors, all these other things.
They're a non-factor to me. They're a factor to the low-hanging fruit. It did take off my gas money. I used to be able to list a couple $200,000, $300,000 houses, and now they just sell to Zillow and all that. Funny story about Zillow, just happening right now, actually. I have a client of mine that he called me and said he's going to sign with Zillow, and I laughed at him. I actually dropped my phone so you can hear it drop. And he's like, hello, hello, hello. And I go, I'm sorry, I think I just broke my screen. I laughed so hard. I go, well, I'm just dying to know, what are they going to offer you? And he said, he gave me the price, and I said, I bet you a bottle of Pappy Van Winkle 12-year that, of course, you got to have the best, that I will sell your house, not only for 30 grand more, for probably $50,000 more, which is 10% more than what they were offering him. He's like, yeah, Ron, but I have kids at school and all this stuff. I'm like, dude, how much money do you make a year? Does it really fucking matter if you're out for 2 days? Go to Disney for 2 days, get out of the house, and let me do my thing. He did. He listened to me. I sold that fucking house for $80,000 over what he was going to get for Zillow. I sold that fucking house with no appraisal contingency, and the appraiser called me and goes, dude, what the fuck am I going to do with this? I go, all you got to do is put a 5 in front of it, brother, and we'll worry about the rest. We got 501.
Tell me about, you've been crushing real estate for so long. Tell me about why you don't have a team and why you don't open your own brokerage.
Brokers are broke. No offense, Derek. That's just joking. I don't want to babysit. My job and my passion, it's not even a job, my life is to help people with their biggest decision in life. And I want to be a difference maker to every single one of them. I can't do that behind the desk. I can't do that when I hand it off to somebody else. I tried the team aspect, and everybody wants to be with RTR. They don't want to be with Joe that barely can tie his shoes and doesn't know what fucking street the house is even on. They want RTR. And I feel like I'm letting people down. So I literally fire more than I hire. If you make it past the threshold, you're with me for life. We'll do it all the way. No matter what you need, I'm there.
If anyone in this audience wants to join your team, what would you say to them?
I don't have a team. The problem is this. Everybody gets aggravated with me because they want a pat on the back. I don't give pats on the back. I'm not a rah-rah guy. I just, matter of fact, get the fucking job done. And then if that job's done, do another one. I just made up a shirt, my first of the RTR clothing line. It's going to be epic. It says, it's a great thing, and I stole it from somebody. Everything that's good is stolen. All my RTR-isms are pretty much stolen, but I try to make them my own. But this one says, no one cares. Work harder. No one gives a shit. No one cares what you did today. They don't care what you did for them, and that's fine. That's the society we're in, and I'm okay with it. I love it actually, because they're always gonna know what I did for them. There's no fucking mystery what Ron's doing. There's no mystery what your transaction is going through, and also when you do everything yourself, you got your finger right on that pulse, man. If that freaking lender is two-stepping around or the realtor's not calling you back, you can tell if something's going sideways. You can react, and you can put on a different hat, and you can try to save a deal or cut it loose and save so many headaches. My clients always know what is going on, and I always say I'm playing chess on the checkerboard. I try to be 3 or 4 moves ahead in every single deal to know where things are going to happen, and I think you got to bring that to your clients. You're just not there filling in blanks.
How do you manage that day to day? Like meaning with the deals on your table, like you wake up, how do you know what to attack, what to do? Like how do you manage which chess moves to be working on and prioritizing? That comes down to street sense, common sense, and
if you don't know that in this room, then you don't deserve to be in this room. That's really, I'm not going to tell you what's priority. Everything's different. Every day's different. And that's why I don't understand these people who have these big regimented things. I wake up at 4:30 and who gives a shit? I don't care. I'm up at 4:30, sometimes working.
Sometimes I haven't went to bed.
They haven't even gone to bed yet. Exactly. That's how I got up here.
Exactly.
So, yeah, I don't understand the
but like,
regiments.
Like if you need to make shit happen and you get up, like or let's just say if an
Sometimes I don't go to bed, Aaron. If I have too much going on,
oh, I believe that.
My job is to do the task, and sometimes I don't go sleep for 2 days.
Now, if we went back 5 to 10 years, let's say at least 10 years, and your phone, maybe it's longer, wasn't ringing all the time, but was ringing sometimes. The RTR army was a little smaller. What would you be doing to grow it, to scale it, to get to where you are today, so that your phone does ring all the time? Like, what would you actually do? I would
look back and say why I haven't gotten to that level yet, and I would start really customer service as my #1 focus to every single client. And I would always constantly be forthright with them and just tell them, this is what I'm doing for you. Sometimes you got to explain to these people what you actually do. They just think you open a door and you're done.
How would you? Can you like run me through how, like if I was the buyer, how would you explain it to me? What do you do?
I get their offer accepted.
I love it.
Everybody's different, man. And you guys all want these secrets. The secret is give a shit, work hard, and then give a shit again. I mean, there's no big mystery here. And that's why I'm always going to win, is because I do give a shit and I will work hard. I'm a poor kid from Buffalo. I'm always going to grind. I'm always going to work the extra mile for that person. I always want to make sure my client is happy. If they're not happy, I want to find out how I can make them happy. And I never sweat the small details. I can't tell you how many damn fridges and washers and dryers I bought. it's never about the money. Success isn't about money. Success is not having to wear a freaking name tag when you walk into any place and they know who you are. Success is when people call you to do their business and you're not calling them. And having respect. These are things you can't buy with money, and they only come through hard work and giving a shit. So I can really distress this enough. That's really what you guys all need to do. You need to look in the mirror and see if you really give a shit. I mean, that's really it. You have to look in the mirror, because a lot of you guys are just kind of going through the motion and bragging about how you went on the golf course today instead of answering your phone for your client. And that's cool if that's what you want to do.
Or how you got 20 offers like everyone else in this real estate market.
Yeah. I mean, everyone can do whatever they want. I'm not looking bad at anything like that. That's the beauty of our business, is you can choose the lifestyle you want to do. I just choose to be number one.
I got to ask you, sometimes you've said such funny things, I got to tee you up to reshare them. Tell me how you feel about name tags. You got me thinking about it. How do you feel about name tags? How have you always thought about name tags?
I never wear a name tag. I wore a name tag when I had to work in the restaurant business, and I'd always put a funny name on there, never my own. So usually I'm not very PC, and I'd probably say something. They would say, Carlos over there said some off-content things, and they'd say, Carlos is an asshole, and here's a free Ginner card. But I always strive never to wear a name tag. If you don't know who I am, it's my own fault. I should be the one introducing myself to you. I'm the one that should be making myself known, especially in sales. If you go into a room and if you have to wear a name tag, you're not selling. You don't know what. You should be introducing yourself to every single person.
So what I'm hearing, right, is that you want to be the most dominant predator in your space. That's how I would say it. Would you agree?
That's just a byproduct of giving a shit and caring and working hard. It's just where it is. I mean, now that I'm here, you don't want to go down. You never want to go backwards. It was never my intent to be, the number one of everything. And I'm not by any means. My job is always to do the best I can for every single person that believes in me to work for them. And that's all I want to do with every single deal. And that's probably the most frustrating thing for a lot of realtors. They want this big get-rich-quick thing. It's not, man. It's one block at a time to build that pyramid. And every single block should be giving you more blocks. And that's how you get to my level where they call. When they call you and you're not spending money on, I don't spend money on myself and marketing myself. I spend more money on my sellers. I do a huge advertising campaign for all of my sellers, no matter what size the house is. They get a $2 million package because the guy has a $400,000 house, man. That's his $2 million house. And I tell them this when I sit with them. It's very important.
What's in the marketing? Is that something I can ask? Can you share what you actually do to market?
Just follow me on social media. You can see everything. It's just it's just high-end photography from Vic DeVore. There you go. I got you a plug, man. That's a drink or two. Actually, funny story. I met Vic. He was actually the cousin of an RTR Army member that I've worked with for many years. And then give this guy a call and try. He pulls up in his little 4-cylinder car. He already was strike against him. And he shot the house. And we hit it off. And I've been an advocate of his ever since. He does a great job. Actually was sad when he went from behind the camera to behind the desk. But he's found some great replacements.
I know you don't do closing gifts, but what is one thing that you tell every client about that might be sitting in the front of the audience with the American flag on? I'm trying to tee up. You plug in send intros, but don't worry about it. I made it complicated, huh?
Yeah, you made it way too complicated.
What other vendors, without naming the actual types of vendors, what other vendors do you consider part of your team that you regularly are either introducing to clients or working with or making sure that you have people you can trust?
Well, it comes down to you got to have good lenders. You got to have lenders you trust. You got to have value. Like Rusty Moore over here from ADT Send Intros. I give him, everybody saves money with that when I go with them. You got to bring value to the table. But really, if you have people that are financing, you really should have yourself, and this, I'm guessing everyone in here has it. I'm probably just wasting time at this point. But you should have a lender you trust and go to war with you, and that will be accountable for that pre-approval letter.
Love it. All right, let's give a giant round of applause to Ron Ziolkowski, RTR. I have one more question I'm going to ask you, but before we do, usually we throw around books. I didn't bring a bunch of books. I'm going to give away 4 tickets. Is that cool? Can I give away 4? 4 tickets, not all to one person. 4 different people are going to get 1 ticket to the Winter Park Wine Walk run by Bryce Morrison with TT4FF. So, real quick, I don't have something to throw. I wish I could throw it.
On behalf of Ron the Realtor, let's go ahead and make the Winter Garden Temptations track. You'll be the first ones to go.
All right, so 4 tickets to the Winter Park Temptation Track. So here's what I want to get, just 3 takeaways from the audience. Usually I throw books, but I'm just going to point at you. Who's got one big takeaway that you got from something you heard and say? Yeah, Heather.
Give a shit and work hard.
Give a shit and work hard. Let's give a round of applause for Heather. And for that advice, I should say. Make sure you grab Bryce. You'll win after. Karen.
Don't be afraid to call your sphere. Pick up the phone.
Don't be afraid to call your sphere. Just pick up the phone. You also win. Yes, over there. Just, say it again. Hey, that's rocket science, right? Fill in the damn blanks on the contract. I'm going to do 2 more. 1 more right here, and then I got you up there. Go ahead, Blake. Never turn your phone off. It's super easy, right? Just don't turn your phone off. Up there, Dominique.
Fire more than you hire, including the realtors that don't send you the right stuff.
Love it.
Amen.
Fire more than you hire, including the realtors who don't send you the right stuff. Hey, if I called on you just now, you're going to have to find Bryce because I don't have anything to throw or hand you. But we can pretend. Dominique, you want to pretend since you're up there? You would catch it, right? We won't even pretend, but she would catch it if I had to throw it. We don't have Mario up here catching books, but you guys have probably seen that enough times by now. So let's give a giant round of applause to RTR. Don't forget, I have one more question for him, but don't forget, Masterclass Orlando, next session is June 17th. You can pull out your phone right now. You can go to masterclassorlando.com, and you can grab your spot. We are probably going to charge admission at some point, and it's free right now. So if you hesitate, you might end up paying for the exact same masterclass I'm telling you to sign up for right now and giving you a few minutes to do it. Just going to plug that real quick. So make sure you visit the bar. Make sure you grab food. It's 25% off literally all day. If you stay here till they close, which is really late at night, you will save a ton of money. I'm not saying you should. I'm just saying you could. So I have one last question for Ron. By the way, before I ask him, can we just give a giant round of applause to Harry Buffalo, Ron, and all of the sponsors? I actually think I have 2 questions for you, Ron. They're kind of tied together. First question is like, what does success actually mean to you? What does it mean to you? Everyone defines it different, but when you think about success, what do you think about?
Growing up, it was paying the electric bill without having to impact my daily life. It was always a factor if I can go have fun or not, you know, keeping the utilities on. But now it's literally, I think I brushed it on it already, was, you know, not having to wear a name tag, having people call me, being able, but probably the biggest thing is being able to pick who I work with, because who you work with determines how your day goes. And I only work with people I like. And when you first start out, you can't. You honestly have to work. I have some people who never call back on my sphere. They're in my database, but I'll never go out of my way to dial for dollar for them. I never want them in there. Funny, some of those people have actually given me referrals though, so you keep them around. But I try to keep myself with people that are going to make my day better, not worse.
I got one last question for you, Ron. What legacy do you want to leave? What do you want to be remembered for? What do you want people to say about you? What do you want them to think about you? Like, what type of legacy do you want to leave in this world?
Probably in the infamous lyrics of Tool, Eulogy. He had a lot to say. He had a lot of nothing to say. We'll miss him.
Love it. Let's give it up for RTR.
Hey, can I say one more thing?
I was about to say, go ahead.
Thank you guys for all coming out again. I do want to bring this up because a lot of people get upset with this. On Fakebook, don't try to be a Fakebook friend with me. My Fakebook's under 97 people. If you really want to follow what I do, I'm an active person on Ron the Realtor persona. So you can follow me on that all you want, and I encourage you to. But I got thousands of friend requests on that Fakebook, and it's just for my family to share photos, and it's really for me to look at my kids every day on the memories from like 7-10 years ago. So that's what it's for.
So you know you made it with Ron when you get in that 90-person list, but otherwise you got to follow Ron the Realtor business page on Instagram and Facebook, correct?
That's correct.
Anything else you want to impart wisdom on them with, or anything else you want to share?
We're all in the same soup, man. We're all kicking ass. We're all fighting. We're all fighting the best for our clients. I'm hoping that me spending time this morning, instead of selling homes for my clients, that I can impart something to you. I don't think I told you anything that's new. hopefully you look in the mirror tomorrow morning when you put water on it and look at it and say that I'm going to give a little more fuck today, and I'm going to work a little harder today, and I'm going to call 3 more people that I didn't talk to in 5 years ago, and maybe you'll get another listing. And if you do, call me and let me know about it, or email me. I love that stuff, man. I always want every person that I talk to or I become around, it sounds cheesy, but I want to be a positive impact on that person. In one way or another. Maybe I just make them laugh or make the high stress of the day not be stressful. Could be as simple as that, or it could be that I literally won an offer that shouldn't have been theirs and I changed their entire lives. And it's the spectrum in between all of that. I sacrifice a lot of my personal life to be RTR. RTR Army gets 95%. Kathy gets a very small portion of it. My kids, even less. It's amazing that she has raised 3 awesome leaders. We're not followers. There's no followers in the RTR household. We're raising leaders. We're raising people to be positive, impact people in society. We're not looking for the people that want to just do scapegoating. My kids all go sports. They all have a job at 16 and they work. And that's how we've raised our kids, just like I was raised. And if they're not in a sport and they're not working, they better pick one or both, and they better have a good grade. And it's all because of Kathy. I don't take any credit. I come in and I yell. I'm really good at yelling. And can you imagine being RTR's kid and trying to debate me on anything? You lose. They've never won a debate unless I let them win it. And then sometimes my wife just says, give them it, let them have it. They can't always lose. Yeah, I mean, everything's a negotiation, like every part of life. And you just got to pick your battles and what to fight hard for and what not. But I hope all of you guys, have the best year ever. And I'm glad to see that we're back to common sense being common again in this state. I never stopped working, man. I was doing open houses when they said that you can die from touching a handle. I was out there, hugging everybody.
Let's leave them with one thing if it's cool with you. What's it say on the inside of your jacket usually? Tell them the phrase. I'm assuming it's there, but if not.
It's right here. It's very simple. It's the harder you work, the luckier you get. And it's on the back of my business card. It's my mantra. It's really just the way of life, because everybody tells me, oh, Ron, you're so lucky. I'm not fucking lucky. I bet the bills. I'm not lucky. I'm probably the biggest mush when it comes to gambling ever. I get my runs, but I'm not lucky. My life has all been a result of cause and effect. I think I brushed on it a little bit. I can do a whole masterclass on cause and effect. Cause and effect.
I'll bring it back.
No, I'm done.
Just kidding.
I'm retiring. I'm going to sell off in the sunset. But cause and effect is so huge. What you do and how you do it is going to affect how your day's going to go, how your week's going to go, how your year's going to go. You want to go on vacation? Fuck, go on vacation. You're a big boy. You're a big girl. Do what you want. But don't be bitching in 2 months that you have no fucking business. I love that shit. I mean, the peaks and valleys of realtors is hilarious. It's hilarious. I'm always up there because I don't stop. This is a marathon, and everyone runs out of gas. They all say, oh, I got you this month. Or that. You don't get me. You're not going to get me. You're not going to be up there with me because I'm sprinting the entire marathon all the time. I don't run out of breath.
All right, let's give it up for RTR Ron Ziolkowski. Thank you, guys. One more time, make sure you stick around. We're going to be sticking around. Grab some food, grab some drinks. Go visit them in the bar. Oh, real quick, we get a quick picture. And thank you guys for coming out. Appreciate all of you. Make sure you like us on Facebook and you post all your pictures. Say it again?
No pyrotechnics?
I wish.